I don't know why, but I've always had such a hard time believing that God could use me. But I think that gets mixed up in this idea that it's because of something that I've done. So the more I understand God's grace, the more I realize that it doesn't matter, that God delights in using those weaknesses. And I think we have to see from this passage that God's grace is bigger than whatever it is you have in your mind. God's grace is bigger than our pain. God's grace is bigger than our ethnicity. The grace of God is bigger than our social status. It's bigger than our loss. It's bigger than our loneliness. God's grace is bigger than our skin color. The grace of God is bigger than our gender. It's bigger than our past. It's bigger than our uncertainties. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, it says, "My grace is sufficient for you, and my power is made perfect in your power." No, it doesn't say that. It says, "My power is made perfect in your weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that the power of God will rest on me." And I think we all struggle to some extent with those feelings of insecurities, of being unqualified, of being too messed up. I remember when we were, coming here, I thought, God, what are you thinking, asking a small town Texas girl to move to a city where people speak French, and, they're not going to like my Texas accent, and it's very city people, and I'm from the country, and how are you going to use that? That's silly. That's ridiculous. I have all these weaknesses. I need a better theological understanding of who you are. I need to have developed my theology on all of these different areas. And I spent a lot of time the first few years that we lived here looking at and telling God about my weaknesses. And I think what he wants to say to us is, I want to work in spite of your weaknesses. That's where I shine. That's the very best part. And that's what he wants to do in every one of your lives. That is what he has for us. He used the very weakness of the woman to go back and to say, God, this Messiah, this Savior of the world, he knew what I've done. He knows who I am. Come see him.